everyone, and welcome to this, the last episode of the week, Fading Footsteps! We are here with this wonderful cast to tell another story based on this weird blacksmith stuff with Holly, our DM. Before we go round, let me first of all point out to Michael Wayne that no, Deep 500 Bits does not offer a D6 anymore. You can see the new donations above. We now have a critical coin flip where we get a 1 or a nat 20. A nat 1 or a nat 20. We flip a coin. In fact, from last week, it seems, thanks to the overlay, is that canon on both screens? No, it's not. I'll get rid of this. Yeah, don't worry about that. So, opening stuff. Check out all of these links as the bot spams them at you. The latest new thing is merch. We have added a whole bunch of merch. Someone said it was comfy, so we added a whole bunch of stuff to it. There's now Scratticus tights and Scratticus tank tops and stuff, and all sorts of wonderful things. Taylor, you start off with a re-roll, thanks to Michael Wayne. Other things there, we've got social links, we've got sponsor information. Big thank you to Mage Hand Press and Burden the Storm Publishing who make this all possible. We have sites where you can get 10 to 15% discount using our special codes, and we have the tweet there where you can go and retweet and tell everyone where you are and what you're watching. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Holly, would you like to lead the introductions, or shall I lead?
I can, I suppose.
By all means.
We can go ahead and start with Abigator Frenzy. Oh, hi.
Oh, why, hello. How's everybody doing? It's lovely to hear all of you in chat and see all of your lovely faces on screen today. My name is Abby, also known as Abigator Frenzy, but that doesn't matter today. Oh no, what matters today is that I will be playing Puck, who is an artificer / warlock who just really wants to study books and make potions. And I think last time we dealt with sand monsters and it was something. But yeah, I'm so excited. Hi.
Okay. And I think your Twitter and all that's in the chat. Check Abigator out. Really into cool stuff. Girl. Now on to Potato Hollow. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Potato Hollow. At this game, I will be playing Ella Robin, who is a druid who has a portable bakery, and it is pulled by a horse named. Wait, I don't remember the name now. Speckles. There we go. I'm not gonna forget that again. No. Speckles, who she has a pact with, basically. Bonded too. That's the word I'm looking for. I love her so much.
If I may quickly, thank you very much, Michael Wayne, who gifts Gildy Wet Warm Snuggles a subscription. Gildy Wet Warm Snuggles, you have a reroll to gift to a player or DM of your choice.
Also, that's a fantastic screen name. It took me a while.
Yes.
Gildy Wet Warm Snuggles?
Okay, so while we figure that out in chat, we can go on over to Jess Neon. Oh, hi.
Hello. I'm Jesse, username Jesse Neon. I'm going to be playing the Knoll Samurai Ratbite. He is a little bit unhinged, actually a lot unhinged, and he has forged a pact with a god that he thinks is real that makes him only speak in rhyme.
Yes. Is the
like Dr. Seuss?
Is the
Maybe.
god secretly Ella's horse?
To be honest, the god may or may not even exist. He got his name because as a pup he was bitten by a sickly vermin, which then induced in him a series of fevers and fits, during which he saw something that he claims was a god that has now been singing songs to him in his mind ever since.
Related. I mean, not relatable. Going on over to Scratticus. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. I will be playing Sintagon, the War Mage Apprentice, who is very young, very impressionable. He I think I can remember how I played him last week. If anyone can remind me if I gave him an accent, that'd be great.
Is vaguely nervous an accent?
Vaguely nervous? I guess so. Okay, was that sort of it? Was it my Morty voice? Was it Morty? Oh God!
It was,
I don't know, Rick.
no, that's end of the campaign goals, but we're not there
You're definitely not there yet.
yet.
Awesome. Mildly nervous.
And my name is Sage Ophelia. I will be hosting you all tonight through this wonderful adventure with blacksmithery and sand monsters and mud monsters and all that other sorts of good things. And I will definitely not try to kill anyone, probably.
Sand monsters, you say?
Sand monsters, I do say. Should I do a quick recap? Is that something we do?
I would love a recap.
I would appreciate it.
And
Okay.
also, Ratbite gets a reroll from Michael Wayne. Thank you very much, Michael Wayne. Just coming in here with the bits and the subs and stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, so our recap so far, we woke up with 4 people in an in-pub type of establishment with no recollection of the night before. Through talking with various townsfolk, they, we'll say remembered with a very soft R, that they had put on a play and an assorted festive performance of the potentially smut show Daggers and Daring. They don't entirely remember it. It's very hazy. But they woke up to a letter from a person named Gast. They followed the signs to the address and they found a rock genasi, earth genasi, who asked them to help him deal with a problem. And they went downstairs to find an earth genasi that was more sandy and an earth genasi that was more muddy. A violent fight ensued wherein the two became intertangled with one another and sank through the floor. And also our host Gast became awesomely huge, and Sintagon may or may not have left the rest of the party to die. So,
I may or may not.
Important note that wasn't included in the recap. Sintagon did exactly what he was told.
he was told to run. And then he locked the door behind him. And then he made a giant rock monster smash through the floor.
Nearly to the letter what he was instructed to do.
Yeah, it was I mean, there were some things that were like in the subscript, but he was reading the whole thing. Okay. So where we start off, I am actually going to start with introducing our new homies. So we're going to start with Ratbite. So Ratbite has been given instruction from a very, very wealthy benefactor that there has been something violent tearing through the town of Vaud. And so your journeys have taken you to this town in Tildapel, which seems pretty average. There's, some people out and about and working. You hear some odd whispers about like something exciting that must have happened last night, but nothing really seems notable about this. You had heard that perhaps there was a blacksmith in town that could help you find who you were looking for or what you were looking for.
Okay. I guess, is it on me, as it were?
Yes.
Okay. Am I at the edge of the town or kind of in the heart of it? Where do I...
When you walk in, it's sort of like some sparse farmland at the edges. There are some farmers out. If you don't think they'd be able to help you, you can keep going further into town. You would find some residences, an inn. There's not really anything markedly that's like, blacksmith supplies here.
Right. Do I hear the sound of a hammer hitting an anvil anywhere nearby?
Only a perception check. We're already having rolls, guys. We can already fail, and we're only like 5 minutes into the stream.
Hoo-hoo.
Such a cup half full way of looking at things. We can already fail!
Yay!
So that's a 13 on that perception check.
With a 13 on the perception check, you don't hear the sounds of like the anvil or a hammer like that. But as you're listening and looking around towards the edge of the village where all like the farms and stuff are, you can notice that one of the farmers who's out in their field seems to have a very nicely crafted hoe that they're using in their garden. It looks like if there were such a thing as a masterwork hoe, this would be a masterwork hoe.
Okay. If that case, Ratbite would approach him, and he's not a small guy. He's about 6'2", weighs about 320 pounds, just like sheer fur and muscle. So he'd walk up very, very slowly, not directly trying to intimidate him, but making his presence known. And kind of eyeing the hoe, he would make intense, direct eye contact with the farmer. And he's got these gleaming, haunting golden eyes. So he's trying to like look through this guy's soul. And he would say, "Answer quick, you farming fool. Tell me who it was that crafted your tool." And then he just kind of cackle.
This is fantastic. So he's a gnome, and you're terrifying. He kind of like hugs the hoe closer to him while also making it obvious that it's like super nice. Like he thinks you're going to take it, but also he doesn't want to let it go. And he says, it was Gast. He is the blacksmith here in town.
Tell me where to find this gas. Answer quick. Make it fast.
Oh, he's right down, he's in the only house that has no rock. It's right, and he starts like describing, like you go down to like the house that has like the crow on the top of the roof, and you take a left, and then there's the fence that goes for 3 more houses, and then you hook a right, and he's like giving you like very where someone's like, okay, if you go to the Walgreens and then you turn, right there, and then there's like 2 more blocks, and then there's like the mailbox. It looks like he's giving those sorts of directions that are to someone who's new in town, possibly not super helpful, but maybe you're very good at navigating.
I'll lean in very, very close, very, very close to the point where like he can see the spittle kind of dripping down from my jowls, and like my fur is mangy. I've got fleas probably, and so those eyes are about 4 inches away from his face. And I'll say, "If there's no smith at this place, I'll be back to eat your face." And then I'll back off and leave and start following the directions.
Okay. He looks terrified, absolutely terrified as you leave. Go ahead and roll me a survival just to make sure that you don't get hopelessly lost in the streets of this town.
18.
Okay, that is fine. You walk through the town and it's normal. People working, normal, going around. There's kind of a blending of races, which if you're coming from either Mozani or the other country whose name I absolutely remember, Valcognon, this is kind of weird. You don't tend to get a ton of racial blending, so it's kind of different here in Tildapel to have a bunch of different races. You find it really well. And you can hear a notable lack of tinking, but it is definitely this really big house, like 2 stories, really nice, no stonework, but lots of very intricate metal working in the trim. There is a fence outside that, again, is very intricately wrought. And as you approach, taking it all in, you hear a deafening crash as though something has just like shot a cannonball through this house. And we're going to jump over to Ella. So you have been traveling about, peddling your wares. with your little pony and your little cart.
Fresh bread, fresh croissants.
And you come into this sleepy little town, and as you start crying out for fresh bread and fresh croissants, your cart gets moderately flocked. A bunch of people are very excited to see somebody new, and they kind of like,
Hi.
oh my gosh, this smells so delicious. What is that?
I've got bread, I've got croissants, I've got muffins, I've got donuts.
And there's she says muffins. She has muffins. How much for muffins?
3 copper per muffin.
Spread the word. 3 copper per muffin. And a bunch of different women kind of swarm your cart, and they just they'll start giving you and trading you. Roll me a persuasion to see how good of a salesperson you're being here.
Let's see, where is it? Ooh.
Well,
I'm gonna re-roll that. That's much better.
Okay, so you're pretty popular here. You're gonna go ahead and make we'll say, come on, Holly, do math. 45 copper, as people are just like snatching up your muffins left and right. And as they're all buying, you hear a whinny come from your horse.
Yeah, what is it, Speckles?
Speckles is kind of holds up a hoof a little bit and shakes. Is it she, Speckles? Girl?
Yes.
And
yes.
shakes her mane.
By the way, I have because I am a what the type of druid I am. I have beasts can understand your speech, and you gain the ability to decipher their noises and motions.
So as she's lifting up her hoof a little bit and shaking her head, you can tell that something in that hoof is not very comfortable how she's standing.
Oh, let me see it.
She picks it up as you lift it up and put it on your knee, and it looks like that the nails in her shoe have come off in your journey over there, and now that she's standing still and having to keep weight on it, she's definitely favoring the other feet. She seems pretty distressed about this and will communicate it to you in a way that's like, yeah, dog, this is urgent.
Yeah. Is there a blacksmith in town?
Oh yes. A short, probably human, but could possibly be half elf woman comes up to you and says, "Oh yes, the blacksmith. Gast, he's just, is your horse okay?"
She'll be fine once I get her shoe fixed. I need to see the blacksmith.
Oh, well, Gast can do wonders. He's right over there, and she'll point you down a road, and she says, it's the one with no stone on it. Just he's really good. He does all the work by hand.
I expect to see him immediately.
Good luck. And she will very tentatively give the horse a little pat. And all the flocks of citizens seem a little sad as you close up shop to go take care of the horse. But there are a couple kids that are stroking, her legs and laughing and pointing and admiring.
And I'm going to run over to the blacksmith.
Are you taking the horse as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Right.
So you
knock.
You knock on the gate or on the door?
On the door.
On the door. So you start knocking on the door, and on your third hit, you just hear this huge crash from inside, and you kind of
Oh my!
look back and you see this creature at the gate who looks as we've described Ratbite, and also staring at the house and having this reaction to it. Inside of the house, as we know from last session, Sintagon and Puc, this is where we made ourselves huge. As Gast went crashing down the floor, and the two Genasi were blended together, and they sunk through the floor. There is a moment where everything seems to have settled, and Gast looks at you, and he's just about to say something and almost gets the first syllable out when, almost as though they have unconjoined the sand portion of this Genasi battle, tears through the house like a wind tornado, and a la Team Rocket style, absolutely just carries away two of your party members as they go flying through the air. From the outside of the house, Ratbite, you see what seems like a very similar description of the thing that you've been chasing fly up into the sun with something question mark inside of it, some masses, and it seems to sort of disappear in the glare of the sun as you follow it up with your eyes, and blinking the sun out of your eyes, you can't see which direction it's gone.
But it just looked like it took straight up and off, like into space, or just gone off in the distance?
It looks like it flew straight up initially, and as you tracked it up, it sort of went in front of the sun. So maybe it went into the sun, maybe it went east, west, north, south. You don't know. It was one of those where you're like, and then when you like open your eyes again, it's like, did it just this should be bigger? Like,
I would just kind of, well, my swords would be out because of the sound, and my shoulders would kind of slump a little bit because I've been tracking that thing. And I just kind of heave out a sigh and be like, so long as it's not gone to space, I'll find my prey and track its pace.
Ella, you hear this from behind you after seeing this happen.
Oh, hello there.
I would turn around.
Pray, you say?
Ratbite would just kind of cock his head, not really sure what's going on. He's got like a dog nose, so he's getting bombarded with smells right now, and a lot of them smell very food-like, so he's just trying to assess the situation.
Well, are you going to say something or just stand there?
Layla is a god of laws, else you'd already be in my jaws. Your countenance, it gives me pause. I know not if I should sheathe my claws.
Well, I don't mean you any harm.
Ratbite would just kind of carefully slunk the swords back in the sheath and be like a little bit less off guard, a little bit less on guard, still very much scrutinizing this figure though.
It does seem like there's a struggle in there. I don't think I want to go in there alone. Would you mind opening the door for me?
Open the door and I will lead, and later we'll ask why you smell of steed.
So, Puck, you have just seen the two other people that were with you in the basement disappear. This giant earth genasi is in front of you in a giant hole. And notably absent from the basement is Sintagon.
Also, a reminder that Puck is currently the beefiest beefiest. Just they have on this kind of like scale armor and big sword, which is a total different change from like the really almost mousy, chaotic looking artificer that everybody knows and loves. Just like really Jedi.
I love both the artificers.
You know. So Puck's gonna stand, look around, assessing. Gast?
Yes. His voice booms and echoes.
What happened? Where's Sintagon?
Wasn't there a big hole in the ceiling? Can I shout through the hole?
Mm-hmm.
Yep!
Where are you?
I ran away like I was told.
What? And you kind of hear this stomping up the stairs as Puck opens the door, and instead of Puck, Sintagon sees the beefy McBeeferson.
That's interesting. I cast Arcane Lock on the door.
Yeah, the door is locked.
I've never done it. I've never done... You can choose people who can open the door. And I've never done that with a changeling before. So I don't know whether it would only open to Puck as I know Puck, or... I mean, it's still Puck, so... Hell, yeah, the door opens. The door will open for
Okay.
Puck.
So, Sintagon, following the train of thought of why are my arcane locks not working, you see someone you have never seen before tear open through your arcane lock.
Ah! Who are you?
Where were you? We just had an epic battle downstairs, and we could have used you, but you were up here. You missed out on the great honor and adrenaline rush of battle, Sintagon.
Well, why did you fight downstairs? We were told to retreat. I came up here, I put Arcane Lock on the door, I started fortifying the corridor, I got the guy really big with enlarge ready to defend things. Come on, first rule of war. You have to pick your battleground. You can't let your enemy pick.
As you say, you can't let your enemy pick. The door crashes open to the outside, revealing a woman with her horse and a creature on the other side. The creature has a very aggressive stance ready for battle, I'm assuming. And the lady smells very fragrantly of baked goods.
And flowers.
And flowers. Flower and flowers.
Immediately, Puck is gonna draw their sword. Yes, can we help you?
Has it been more than 10 minutes since I cast Expeditious Retreat? Asking for a friend.
As you two burst through the door, you see an Earth Genasi like here up male, who seems to be lined with some quartz, and he's holding a very big battle axe and is halfway through the floor, as it seems that he has been made unnaturally large.
Ratbite's kind of trying to survey all of this as much as possible. The swords don't come back out, but the hands go closer towards the hilts. And he does his best to kind of eye up or size up all the different individual people that he sees and says, I came here to find a maker, find only wrecks and beasts and craters.
And I've come here to find a blacksmith.
I would look over to her and be, you're saying things I said the same. We just used a different name.
All right then.
That is my dear fellow Sintagon, would you care to make me again?
Oh, give me 2 minutes, and Sintagon sits down with his spellbook to try and figure out how to stop casting
Well, what services were you? I'm sorry that you have to see me like this. We just had a disappointing encounter, I'm afraid.
Oh, if you could fix Speckles' horseshoe, that'd be great.
He kind of like peers through the door and says, I think I could do that.
Oh, I just need to stop concentrating on it. Well, that's easy. Someone distract me. Anything.
Puck goes up to Sintagon. Who told you to retreat? And starts kind of, unless Gast is your commanding officer, which I don't think it was, you just left your teammates down there to fight by themselves. I understand what you learned in college was, but I'm telling you, if you haven't witnessed the great pride of battle.
Who are you? Who are you?
It's Puck. Duh.
You're not Puck.
Yeah, I am.
No, Puck was the little person with the artificer's tools and reading books and stuff. And...
I've got yeah, that's me.
No, you're big and muscly and you have a great sword.
I've always had a great sword.
Well, yeah, but now it's like a really great sword. Before it looked kind of silly. Now it looks...
Are you okay? Did you hit your head?
Do you need a muffin?
Oh.
I think he needs a muffin. Oh, you've got muffins?
Yes, I've got blueberry and grape and
Sintagon, you like blueberry?
No, it looks too much like broccoli. It looks too much like broccoli. I had a bad experience, but I'll have a grape one.
Ratbite kind of deflates as this exchange goes on longer and longer. He's just like sinking down, and he just puffs out a big sigh. I came here with killing tools, and now I find I must suffer fools.
What did you just call me, man? Did you call me a fool?
Well, Puck, you can't just throw down with everyone. This is not okay.
Listen to him. He seems well balanced.
Puck's gonna take a couple of deep breaths, and in front of your eyes, you see Beefy McBeeferson's face almost start to bubble and sink into itself in a really kind of grotesque, almost what's going on as you see this McBeeferson change into a very frizzy-haired, bispectacled, very frail-looking person, human.
Ratbite would find this hilarious.
As Sintagon is piecing it all together, Gast is shrinking, and our two newcomers see this giant, sturdy earth genasi just sort of like deflating into the floor, into the basement.
Ella will turn to Puck and be like, does that hurt? Does it hurt when you change?
Does change what? Or change? I'm sorry, just a second. That was an Abby mix-up. Change what?
Your appearance.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She wonders how you change your face and stretch your mass across more space.
Yes, what he said.
Are you sure everybody's okay? This seems very out of character. I don't stretch my... Do you always talk in rhymes?
This is the maddest conversation I've had, and yet they all call me the one who's mad.
I didn't call you mad. I just asked if you were just speaking in rhymes. Okay, that's very impressive. Don't get me wrong. Yes. Oh, muffin, and then we need to talk to Gast. That's what we need.
Here, muffin.
Oh, thank you. And I hand it to Sintagon.
Like it's like a robe of many things, but a robe of many muffins, and you can just like pull off a patch, and it just turns into a muffin.
Love it.
With lots of flowers on it.
Hey, this is pretty good.
Thank you. It's what I do.
Oh, now you're rhyming too. Oh gosh, I continue.
Boom!
It's contagious like the flu.
So Gast opens the door.
Oh, you broke it.
and he's normal sized. He is broad shouldered. He is a big guy, but he's not gargantuan class size monster. And he walks through the door as you all are enjoying your muffins and making rhymes. And
oh, hello there, muffin. You want a muffin?
Thank you for your offer, but I don't eat muffins.
Do you want a croissant?
I eat rocks.
No, I don't think I have any of those.
No rock cakes then. That's okay. You said your horse. Please.
Yes, Speckles. Right there.
Yes. If you would all like to follow me, I can talk while I work. We can see about getting. What did you come for, sir?
Is that spoken to Ratbite?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You would kind of look up at the sky again in the direction that the thing was that took off. And again, he just kind of pops out a big sigh. And
I came to hunt the thing that left. Now I find myself bereft.
Yes, well, these two also seem to have been hunting her. Come, we can talk about it as I fix this shoe. And he'll walk out the door to where the horse is, and he kind of spooks her a little bit because he's a pretty good dude.
Ella will walk up to Speckles and be like, calm down, it's all right.
Speckles kind of, and he lifts up her foot very gingerly and looks at the shoe for a moment, and then he almost seems to like massage her foot. And as he does this, she gets kind of a weird look on her face and it's kind of like, what is happening here? But it's not unpleasant. And after a little bit, he says, well, I am Gast, for those of you I haven't met. Sintagon, Puc, thank you for trying to take care of things, but I'm afraid that my wife is gone.
I'm so sorry. Are you sure you don't need a minute to collect yourself? I know everything happened so quickly. I am sorry we couldn't do more.
Did she say anything, or the other one?
Well, and then Puck's gonna turn pointedly to Sintagon. Did you hear anything, Sintagon?
Look, I've looked it up right here in Mixed Unit Tactics. Picking your battleground is the most important step of battle. You can maximize the effectiveness of your archers and cavalry, your swordsmen can be better protected, and you can form pikes and other defensive formations. My actions were valid.
That's all well and good if you have an entire army.
You abandoned us down there. We could have really used your help. I understand. It's a little bit different than in school, but this is real life. These are actual battles. And Puck, as nerdy Puck, is trying to reason with Sintagon instead of just being like, fighting is awesome. But again,
They don't teach us this stuff for fun, you know. The stuff we learn in school is supposed to be transmitted just because it's the way you've always done it. You know, I think that war is going to take a whole new revolution, and we can get things done much quicker and much more effectively if we just follow the ways that we're taught and the ways we study.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
War is not but sordid hell. I've fought it much. I know it well.
I just point to Ratbite.
Which side have you fought for, young man?
On both sides, they have been my blades. I care for coin, not orders made.
He
Valid.
nods and says, "That's much the sentiment here in Tildapel, but I confess that the fighting has never suited me." And he lets down the horseshoe, and she flicks it back up almost to like kind of present it to Ella for inspection. And you can see that there is a very nice crafted horseshoe that he seems to have just melded by hand that is like custom shaped to her foot and very securely back on there. And she's just sort of looking at you for approval.
Wonderful, wonderful. How much do I owe you?
Well, here in town, we tend to trade in favors.
Oh, sure, whatever you want.
I've heard about that. Don't do anything that you wouldn't agree to sober.
Well, I think it's quite fine. I'm quite sober.
Well, he looks at his house, which at this point has a hole in the ceiling, a hole through his floor, shattered glass all over the basement. And he looks pointedly at Puck and Sintagon in a way that's not exactly angry, but just sort of like when an older relative catches a kid doing something and the kid knows that it is something that is wrong, but the older person isn't going to call them out on it. Sort of that knowing kind of, I think maybe if your cart wishes to wander a while, I may have a direction that could help you all. You, he points to Ratbite, seek the one that was once my wife. I can tell you the last place she went. It's possible she's going back. And you two, and he gestures to Puck and Sintagon, perhaps you would want to find your friends.
I'd say that's a wonderful idea.
Puck is looking at the house with a kind of very guilty expression and doesn't really process what Gast is saying. Just kind of like, oh.
I suppose you know any healing magic, do you?
Yes.
Heal the... Ow, I just bit my tongue really bad. Ow. Oh, that was like a back of the tongue bite. Ow. Heal the house.
Well, how do... No, I can't do that.
Gast sort of looks back at the house and back at you and back at the house again and says, fixing things is something that I am quite adept at. Now, tracking, on the other hand, I've never been much good at, and an Earth Genasi that leaves no trace is harder than most when it comes to a target.
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah, sorry. Was that a cue at me?
He was just sort of like trailing off and looking back and forth, and as you all sort of watch him, like an old guy that's gotten too into his stories, he kind of shakes himself and says, "Right, so I suppose what I'm asking is if you could go in this cart," and he gestures to Ella's cart, "to the last place she was, and maybe see if you can contain," or he glances at the swords at Ratbite's hips and says, "otherwise lessen her damage. I'm sure that the world would be better off."
Oh, I'm sure she can be saved.
He looks very distressed and kind of like nods very slowly.
Just think positive.
I have known things too depraved to have crossed the line and can't be saved.
That was oddly. Wait, too depraved to not be saved?
Have crossed the line and cannot be saved.
Oh no, that was not hopeful at all. No, never mind.
Don't be a downer.
Yes, of course, we'll do our best to see what's going on. Now that we know a little bit about the force behind these things, we hopefully will be better prepared. You two, names, or should I just call you rhyme
Ella.
person? Ella? Ella.
Pleased to meet you. And this is Speckles, points to the horse. Say hi to
Hello.
Speckles.
Oh, I'm Puck.
The gnoll you meet before you this night goes by the name of Ratbite.
All right, Ratbite. All those rhymes. How do you keep up with? Anyway, yes. So, I guess we'll go off. Where was the last place that she went again, Guest?
It was to find the other one, and he like points kind of at the basement vaguely. Dwayne, and I believe it was somewhere off to the west. She was talking for days about a healer she used to know out that way that might be able to do something for him. I believe she said he lived in some sort of tower, and he sort of shakes his head and says, I should have listened better than I did. I believe it was, judging by her return, could not have been more than a few days out.
All right, towards the west, a few days out in a tower, we're looking for a healer. And at this, Puck has ink and a contraption that it'd be a pen, but I don't know if there's pens in this world. She made a pen, basically, or they made a pen. And so Puck is writing all of these details on their arm.
Below the other details that have been written.
Yes, just all up her hands and arms. You see different notes kind of scratched in and symbols and stuff. All right.
While this is happening, Ratbite has no real common convention, so he doesn't know who's in charge. And he just kind of keeps looking around towards everybody else and says,
I would know how much I will be paid from whomever it is that commands my blade.
And how much would you charge?
That depends on how much killing before I will tally the shilling.
He kind of looks at you for a minute and sizes you up and says, we can speak of perhaps something I can make for you once you have given an end to this small adventure. As you can see, I'm quite gifted with my hands. And then he gestures to the house, and I don't believe I'm going anywhere soon with what remains to be done.
I will give this offer closer thought, and once the battle's won hard fought, I'll come back for my prize well wrought.
He nods and extends out a hand.
Ratbite will reach out and shake it.
He has a very soft grasp. It's like
Ratbite
it's very
has the opposite of that. It's like furry and irritating. You feel kind of itchy afterwards. It's just not clean.
He like sort of makes a motion, like if you imagine how it would feel if you like rubbed sand on a rock that could actually feel it. Sort of that like grainy, like sort of motion, and says, "Yes, well, the deal is sealed then." And he shuffles back inside and he comes back out with a piece of paper, and he holds his hand out for the pen that Puck is using to write on their arm. If you would, I can give you the best route out of town that I know. Unless one of you knows a better way west.
You just head west. You go and you walk in the direction that is west. I don't know. See, I travel a little bit. Anyway, and she kind of rambles on as she hands over they ramble on as they hand over the pen.
He looks at it for a moment and then sort of like test scribbles and then like sort of sketches out like a couple paths and gives this map and the pen back to you.
I hand it to Sintagon. I'm not much of a navigator. Actually, no, I don't. I'm not sure if Sintagon, do you know how to read maps and follow them?
Well, I haven't studied navigation, but I'm sure I could figure it out if I investigate it for a little while.
Ratbite, are you good with maps?
Never have I traveled west. I'll take your map and directions best.
I hand the directions to Ratbite.
Just kind of look at them and then really like obviously flip them up because they were upside down in the first place.
All right, so
Ella will take them and be like, I can direct us just fine.
Upon your steed, this makes sense, of course. If we should find ourselves with no recourse, and more damage does befall your horse, here's a thing that I could do. I'll make an offer, I swear it true. I'll pay you twice her weight in glue.
No!
Right in the horse? Who I was about to say Sprinkles, but his name isn't Sprinkles.
Speckles.
Speckles, thank you.
No, don't hurt Speckles, no.
Speckles like looks kind of alarmed at once you say don't hurt Speckles and kind of like backs up slightly as the nervous horse do.
Ratbite's just gonna like lick his jowls. The tongue comes like out and goes all the way around the snout and then right back in. Doesn't say anything, but he's just making intense eye contact with the horse.
No. No one's hurting anyone, especially not Speckles. I will kill you before you kill Speckles.
This horse, as all things must do, will end. Would not it be best to then feed a friend?
You're not a friend. You're threatening my horse.
I did not realize she meant much to you.
No, you don't threaten my horse.
As you say, you don't threaten my horse. Speckles kind of punctuates it with some pawing at the ground, like, yeah, you don't hurt the horse. The blacksmith looks at you and says, I should give you some payment just as a goodwill since you're willing to do this for me. And he pulls a metal bar out of his coat pocket and kind of works it for a minute and then opens his hand, and there are 4 rings to guide them. No, there are 4 rings in his hand, and he holds them out to you and says, "This might be useful for you."
Ella will take one and then make a ring of daisies and put it around the ring and then put it on her finger.
It is going to be a ring of resistance to force. So each of you gets one of those.
Resistance to force damage?
Yes.
Cool.
This is handy. When I get back, I'd like to talk to you about some of your blacksmithing. I'm a tinkerer myself. This is very well done. Of course it would be well done. Thank you.
Thank you for this difficult burden you shoulder. Heaven knows I could not do it. And he kind of like gives you a nod of finality and kind of like gestures to the muffin cart and says, "I wish you safe journeys. Is there anything else you would ask?"
No.
Ratbite is still very intently looking at the horse.
Roll me an intimidate
Look
check.
at my horse. Oh, me?
Jesse.
12. Did that have my proficiency? Because it is supposed to if it did not. Let's take a look here.
Yes, it did.
Excellent. So yeah, there you go. 12.
Okay, yeah, so this horse looks really spooked by you.
I would walk up to the horse and like very tentatively reach out and pet it and be like, "You'll help us out. I will not eat you." And then I'll lean in really, really close. "But when you're dead, you will be stew." And then kind of go around to the back and get into the carriage.
Ella, you can see as Ratbite seems to be making friends with the horse. What's your passive perception?
It is just a second. 14.
He leans in and says something you can't quite hear, but the horse's ears kind of swivel forward, and then he goes and gets into the cart, and Speckles kind of looks at you warily, but kind of like nods and as though saying like, "Okay, I guess we're doing this. This is our life for now."
And Ella will put her hands on her club, which she keeps under the cloak, and nod to the horse.
So we saddle up? Question mark?
Yes.
Before we leave, I want to, Puck wants to kind of discreetly go to the side and hand 5 gold pieces to Gast, saying, "I know I can't help you repair. I feel bad. We did cause a lot of this damage. I hope this will perhaps help in resources. Anyway, here you go."
As for the cart, I'm thinking stagecoach style, like with and in the back it's just a giant shop with a window. So when Ella's driving it, she's sitting on the front.
Okay. And then all the baking supplies and presumably like some sort of like floor space, bed, that sort of thing.
All that's in the back.
So
could I make an athletics check to see if I could sit on the roof?
Certainly athletics or acrobatics will work for that, whichever you prefer.
Oof, 13.
Okay, so you are able to clamber up there while it is staying still. Remains to be seen if you'll be able to stay up there as it continues to go down the road. Sintagon, we are clambering into the muffin cart, the muffin mobile. Do you have any last business with the blacksmith guest?
Sintagon will just pat his shoulder, look at the house. Awkwardly stand in silence for a second. Better go.
Kind of nods. You are very powerful.
Eh?
It will serve you well.
Oh, right, yeah, no, really powerful, yeah. You're really good at blacksmithing.
It has served me well. If you need anything made, I'll be here.
I'll just
go.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sort of a hurried walk down the path.
That was perfect.
So we all clamber inside or on top of the muffin mobile.
Those of you going inside will see that there are actually 2 beds. The reason for that is probably never going to be explained. And there's an oven. There's lots of cupboards and stuff for all of the supplies to make the muffins. And there's a stovetop as well. And on the other, the bed's on the right side, and all of the cooking stuff is on the left. And there are plenty of extra muffins because she did not do very well today selling them.
I don't know. You sold quite a few muffins. The scones and stuff weren't, the bread not as popular.
Yeah.
The muffins, like, off the shelves. Okay.
Did they sell like hotcakes?
Yes. So we are going to start our journey. I am going to write down some rules, and each of you will pick one for your character to do. But I have to remember what the last one is. Okay, so as we are traveling, I am going to need people to be doing a couple different things. We are going to need a driver, which will roll animal handling to navigate our pony through the strange terrain as we are at the base of the mountain, traveling on towards the higher mountains. It's going to be a bit loose and spooky fitting. And then I'm going to need someone who is studying the map and directing. That's going to be investigation. We are going to need a lookout. That is going to be perception to make sure that we don't see any danger coming up. And we're going to need somebody who is going to be looking for water sources, food, that sort of thing. That is going to be a survival. I can write these all down for you if you would like.
So Ella's going to be driving. Ratbite is definitely going to be the lookout. And then Puck will be directing?
So here's the thing. Let's say, hypothetically, Puck had a modifier to a hypothetical roll for a certain skill. Hypothetically, of course, Puck would have a -1 on animal handling, a -1 on survival, but a +6 in investigation. So...
Navigation.
I mean, it would be interesting plot-wise if I did one of the other things. It's whatever.
It's funny because it's almost a similar story with Sintagon. Nearly identical, except 0 on all of those things and 7 on an investigation.
Ratbite has 0 on everything. So I'll take Lookout, I guess. I'm already on the top of the carriage, at least for the time being until I fall.
Yeah, it's perception.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 4 on survival and 7 on animal handling. So if I could do both, that'd be great. But
I feel like Sintagon, you got a +7. I think you can do the investigation. Ella, whatever you got is good. Puck is just gonna roll what Puck is gonna roll, and we'll just see how it goes.
Okay, so to recap, we have Sintagon rolling investigation to guide us on the map. We have Ratbite rolling perception to keep a lookout. We have Puck rolling survival to find us food and water along the way. And we have Ella rolling animal handling to keep the horse in good repair and going in the correct direction, as noted by our navigator. So if we could all just make those rolls, that would
Navigator.
ooh, do I have a reroll?
You do
I
have a
have a
reroll,
reroll.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You
I
also
believe-
have a reroll, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow mine, and it's gonna be worse than 11. It's gonna be like a 7. Here it comes. You know, I'll take it.
Okay.
18 with a -1. I
Feeling nervously good about ourselves.
Yes, I believe that 14 reflects Ratbite's making Speckles uncomfortable.
So we'll start at the bottom with the 14. Speckles is definitely a bit uncomfortable. Every time you stop, she kind of like shies away. You guys end up traveling for about 2 days as you're following these lines up into the mountains. Because she's pretty nervous, she's going in all the right directions, and she's doing, she's picking her footing well and responding well to you. But seeing those terrifying glowing eyes and that mangy fur, she is not sleeping at night, and she's going to go ahead and pick up 2 points of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Ratbite is not going to be helping the situation whatsoever. So from up on top of the carriage at one point, it'll be like, for the view to you, I should give thanks. From here, I see those juicy flanks.
I also picture Ratbite as like one of those people, if you've ever seen Major Payne, how he sleeps just with his eyes like...
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And he's been staring at this horse meat for so long that like a small puddle of drool has accumulated on the roof of the bodega.
This is like every so often you like, it hasn't been raining, but you like see a puddle like that's dripped through the top, and that's
the occasional
weird.
high-pitched whine of a puppy who sees a treat but can't have it.
I absolutely love that survival roll with the -1.
So moving along to our 15 perception, a couple times along the road, you'll see some people coming towards you. Most of them seem like they're minors in the hi-ho sense, not in the lost children sense.
That's good.
And
just a bunch of minors.
None of them really gets the drop on you, and they give you like a passing cursory glance because it is a little weird to see a muffin cart a couple times. They approach and they buy
I bet
some
you
muffins.
Ratbite's pretty terrifying on top of that.
They usually don't see him until they're pretty close, and then they're kind of like, and then they just sort of take him to be as he's like gripping, because you are going to have to grip pretty hard with that athletics, gripping and drooling, they sort of think maybe it's like a cart topper ? Like, this is the weirdest mascot for a muffin mobile, but maybe things are different there in the east. I don't know. And so you keep going, and nobody really seems to get the drop on you. Then with the survival, that's good enough that you guys are not going to lose any of your rations as you're traveling. You'll be able to find food and water when you stop, and it's going to be, nice. It's not going to be...
The muffins are safe.
The muffins are safe.
At one point, when we stop for water and a muffin break, Ratbite will kind of eat a muffin very tentatively, and then his whole muzzle is just going to like curl up in disgust, and he'll spit it out.
Must everything you bake be sweet? Have you not heard of pies of meat?
Yes, I have heard of meat pies. Do you want one? You would have to provide the meat, of course.
Dun, dun.
Is it an option to use horse?
No.
I will find another source.
Kind of like glumly go back up on top of the wagon.
Puck, with that survival, you would be able to find Ratbite some meat in the form of fish, if that is what you're into, or small game.
Ratbeat is now his sick breakdancer nickname. So
It's his DJ Rappin' Robot name. With the investigation, you are looking at this map and looking at the lines drawn and looking at this map. And Sintagon, through your studies at the Wizard University, you've studied maps before. You never thought you would actually have to read one because you were mostly more into spells. But there was this one class that you kept like not doing so hot in, and you made it like your passion to learn map making 101. And as you're studying this map, all of those late nights drinking lightning drinks into the wee hours of the morning and poring over tomes of maps, you're like, wait, I know exactly where we're going. I've actually heard rumors of this place. I think I could just plot our course here. Definitely, yeah, I can. And you're actually looking at the lines that he's drawn to the west, and you're like, it's to the east. I don't know what this guy's on, but it's definitely to the east, this tower that we're looking for.
Yes.
We should turn left.
You're the navigator.
Yep. That's right, yep. And then about 5 yards later, we should go left again.
All right.
You are
I'm
turning
sure
us all the way around. Are you certain your directions are sound?
Yes, I'm quite sure. I remember the taste of the mana potions late at night, lightning mana. And, the thing is, we need to go east.
Excuse me?
Yep. See, we're here. Here's the town. Here's the tower. The north is definitely pointing up. The sun's over there. So if we get a thing, we'll do north that way. We need to go east.
Okay.
Ratbite just kind of like nips at his fur a few times, like scratching at an itch, and then would kind of glare at the navigator over the map.
You've already wasted several days by leading us this far astray. This trouble is not very well paid.
And just get back up on top of the wagon.
I don't think it's his fault for bad directions.
Is he not the one who holds the map? I care not. I'll take a nap.
Yes, please do.
Ratbite is gonna wake up one morning to just be like lashed to the top of it. So we keep going on, and after a bit, you're starting to get pretty close to the to where Sintagon has to where Sintagon has indicated on the map that the tower is, and you come across
Should I
another
get
cart.
the map up? Would that be a nice thing to do?
If you want to. I
Yeah,
have things occurring now. I mean, I don't know how complicated it is to work the
I literally just have to like press a transition button.
Transition.
How big can I make it? I can make it pretty big.
Looks like we got a new friend.
Hey, sheepy, welcome. And then shall we fade across? Everyone get ready for a sick fade. Let's fade.
Dios mio.
This is why I have to keep myself muted, because I have these random, really loud bursts of laughter that I really don't want to interrupt scenes. So
don't see a problem with it. Trying to find a good coach for you to put on this map. We'll make this work. Okay. Oh my gosh, I still have drawing selected. How embarrassing. Viewers, pay no attention while I, oh my goodness, don't know how to work this thing. Okay, so there's a little blue line there. It's just gonna stay there because not gonna move it. I tried to move it and I just selected the road. So there we go. So rat bites, and as you are looking around, you see another cart coming from the direction of where Sintagon has indicated that you are headed. In front of it, you see a half-orc and a... Hang on, I wrote this person down. I swear I did. Half-orc and a dwarf. Standing outside of this cart that is coming towards you. They don't appear to have noticed you yet.
Do they look armed?
They do look armed. Roll me an insight or investigation. Okay.
That's a big old 9.
That's all right. I got a 22.
So with a 9, they're alive. Yay!
Accurate. The swords come out.
With the 22, Ella is sitting at the front of the cart and also watching. And you've passed carts before. You're no stranger to cart travel. You can tell that these look like guards to the cart. They are slightly ahead of it. They have their weapons out and they're on guard, not necessarily aggressive, but more defensively on guard and looking around.
About how far away from them are we?
You are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. About 100 feet away from them.
Okay. Plausibly earshot? Within earshot, I should say?
If you are loud, they will hear you.
With an insight check of 9, Ratbite leaps to his feet, swords in his hands, and shouts out,
Are you foes or are you vendors? Answer quick or be dismembered.
Okay, so we're
you
going
see
to have...
Puck's head. Puck was like in the wagon, like just...
You're going to see Ella just turn around and go, no.
As Ratbite is hollering this stuff, and Puck, you're jutting your head out the window, and Sintagon, you're still like studying the map. Ratbite, I'm going to need you to make 2 rolls. The first one is going to be an acrobatics to not faceplant off this moving cart.
Deal.
And the second one is going to be an intimidate.
Excellent. So, acrobatics.
You stay on the cart.
Oh, that's 20. Okay, I'll take it. And then intimidation, you said. 18. I'm scared.
Wow! Yes.
Okay, so as those of you that are looking outside of the cart hear this, you can see the 2 men that are guarding this cart snap over, and they have their weapons up and definitely look more on alert, but they're not charging or doing anything active, but they've noticed you at this point, and they yell back, "We're not merchants. We're just passing through. Who goes there?" They don't seem to be really like, "Stop, halt." They seem a little taken aback to see you and more confused than anything.
We're just passing through. We've got a jumpy one here who, gets a bit defensive. Apologies.
They also have muffins.
I would look down to the other 2 and say, "In your hands I'll leave decision. I could end them with only a few incisions."
I don't think that would...
It's okay.
If it's any consolation, I believe you.
Is your cart continuing to move forward?
Yes.
The closer we get to them, the more like foamy and frothy the spittle at Ratbite's mouth is going to become.
As it's going forward, can I make, I don't know if it'd be a perception or an investigation to see if there's anything fishy in terms of, like, I don't know. No, that's me metagaming. It's never mind. I'm not making a roll.
I think the insight roll would cover whatever you're asking about.
It would if Puck would be trying to figure things out.
Puck at this point, like, really in character, Puck wouldn't make a roll. Abby was just like, why did the DM say if we were still going forward? Does that mean we shouldn't go forward? That was me, like, anyway. Puck doesn't care. Go ahead.
What is Sintagon up to?
Sintagon is mostly chilling, checking out the map, making sure that they really do need to go east, continuing to head east. Slightly concerned that if these people are, heading towards them, that means they're coming from behind, so potentially following them, but not so concerned to make an insight check.
Okay. They continue to move towards you, a bit more slowly and carefully upon seeing the increased froth about the muzzle of Ratbite. And
he's also just chuckling very, very slowly. Just
I mean, you've just found a horse that no one that you know loves. Ooh. So he's probably having a pretty optimistic day. So as they get closer, you can notice that the 2 guards are kind of like sizing up the 2 of you that they can see. Those of you that are looking at the guards, make me a history check. Ella, I don't know, maybe they're hungry? ? Ratbite, you're definitely more focused on the horse than anything else.
Is it thick? Is it a thick pony?
It looks like a muscular horse. It looks like it's definitely used to pulling carts. You don't notice like that dip where a saddle would go. You're not really sure what breed it is with that history roll, but tasty breed probably. It's pretty big, pretty big, pretty thick. This cart is bigger than yours, and it's pulling it by itself. You don't know what might be inside of it, but horse. Sintagon, in your studies of history, you can tell, looking by these two, they are wearing standard issue guard uniforms of the Valkynjan army. You can't really distinguish the rank other than decent, but they are definitely from the army, conscripted members of it. They have a couple like flashy bits that denote which branch they're from. They're from, if you were splitting it normally, more in the Marines type branch. And Puck, with that impressive history roll, you can tell that they are roughly like lieutenants. They would only be used to be escorting something important. This isn't somebody that you would just send out to Waffle House at 2 a.m. to pick you up some, blueberry muffins. Like, these are important dudes. You can tell everything that Sintagon can distinguish as well. And that cart is also military issue. It is not just a standard traveling passenger cart.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I kind of want to see if I've got anything that I can get some like X-ray vision or something. I don't think I do.
Can I try to just like sniff the air and see if I see anything or pick anything up that's unusual?
Yeah, roll me a perception.
This is not going to go well.
I love those words.
I'm gonna roll perception as well.
Oh,
Which sense are you using to perceive? I assume your eyes.
Yes.
What do your Ella eyes see?
She's currently got her flower crown in her face.
Yeah, you like, you're looking, and as you're trying to like size them up as well, a gust of wind like blows your cloak up into your face, and you get like some pollen in there, and you sneeze a little bit, and you just like got that sort of watery eyes and not really sure what's going on. Maybe that horse is just two guys in a suit. And as Ratbite is looking, sniffing the air a little bit. Oh my gosh, all you can smell is horse. Like, so much horse.
The tongue is hanging out like a solid 6 inches from his bottom jaw. Like, it's just almost cartoonish. The fact that he's just panting, mouth open, just.
And as you're continuing to sniff, you can also smell the very distinct smell of like metallic body odor, which could be from these guys being outside, marching for ? Who knows how long in this armor, as they are both wearing armor underneath of their military garb. So they sort of stop and say, "What business passing through?" says the half-orc.
As whoever's going to talk to this, when I observed this box, you said it was military grade. Does it have any magic attached to it?
For that, I would ask an Arcana roll, but you would be able to know that most military grade carriages have defensive magics in them. As to what exactly, like usually they have some sort of protective things. They're warded. You can't really tell this one particular, since it is high ranking. Maybe it has more. Maybe it doesn't have as much because it has such a good vanguard. but it's safe to assume that there is some amount of defensive measures incorporated into this carriage.
Okay. Oh, we're just passing through. Traveling
to where, for why? On behalf of the military of Valkanion, we should know all travelers. The orc is speaking a little uncertainly, looking almost as if he isn't sure whether Ratbite is a traveler or like a pet, and looking back over at the dwarf as almost for reassurance, and the dwarf is kind of stoutly nodding.
Huh. Oh, no, of course. Are you... No, never mind. Puck was almost about to say, are you new to the military? Because that didn't sound so sure, but Puck stops themselves before they... we're going to see a healer, we heard was this way. As you can see, our friend here, and I kind of gesture to Ratbite.
Your friend, not mine.
My friend, Ratbite, needs healing, and at this she kind of, or at this they whisper, a little bit of healing. There's been some concerning changes in their personality, more aggressive. We're an obsession with horses. We just want to go to make sure. We heard that this healer might be able to help.
The dwarf looks kind of worriedly over at his horse and kind of gives it a little pat, and the half orc like kind of stares you down a little and says, roll me a deception.
Oh, roll you a deception. I can roll on the ground, I guess. Somersault, is that what you're talking about? 19.
Deceived.
Let's see.
It's true. Ratbite looks real like he could probably use a healer. Just saying.
Yeah, he definitely does. As the half orc is kind of nodding along to what you say, and then he says, you say we, how many we are? And he looks at your carriage.
There's 4 of us.
I inspect the carriage, and he nods almost as if not really asking permission, just telling you that's what he's going to do.
And Ella will just lead them. Okay, here's the oven, here's the beds.
He kind of like opens the cabinets and like picks up Sintagon from where he's studying his map and looks underneath him and sets him back down. And
as you can see, we have nothing to hide. This is a simple bakery.
While he's looking, the dwarf is kind of sizing you all up as well.
Does Ratbite notice that he's being sized up?
Yes, you would be able to tell that he is doing you guys.
Okay.
He
would kind of climb down from the side if he can and just very slowly approach the dwarf. The swords are out, but the tips stay down, like pointed towards the earth. Very obviously non-threatening, just kind of leaning into it. Well, I shouldn't say non-threatening, but you know what I mean. And he'd walk up towards the dwarf and say, "For soldiers, you both seem wary. Tell me, what is it your wagon carries?"
Don't mind him.
I told you.
Perhaps it is because of my fall, but say it again, I don't recall.
Again, just ignore him. Muted?
Yeah.
My cat sat on my dongle and muted everybody and me.
Oh, no.
Girl. So the dwarf looks at you and he seems to get a beat on you. Like you feel your soul being stared into as he seems to almost know what you are, why you are. And he says, "What we carry is nothing of your concern. It is ours." And he once up and downs you and says, "You have been a soldier and you should understand what we do for our land." And he gives you kind of like a wry smile at the rhyme. And his buddy pops his head out of the cart and says, "Ingot, nothing in here, just someone reading." And he seems to make this look at it, and a bunch of bread, lots of bread things.
You could do with some reading yourself.
I don't read.
Thank you very much.
That's a shame.
Thank you very much, Lord Conti, who gives every single player a critical coin flip, or is that 2? No, 1 critical coin flip per player. What that is instead of rolling, you flip a coin. On a 1, it's a nat 1. On a 2, it's a nat 20.
That's scary. But
I have a technical question.
Mhm.
Suppose one had advantage going into a coin flip. Would one be able to flip the coin twice?
No.
Yeah, I don't think
It was
so.
worth a shot.
Yeah, I don't
It was
think
worth
so.
a shot.
Yeah, no. Good to clear it up before we got there. I like that.
The nice preface question. But yes, thank you so much for letting me have some fun with my players, potentially, or letting them have some fun with my people. So the dwarf is watching Ratbite very closely. The orc Sintagon is leaving the inside and leaving you back where you were with the map, and he walks back over to the dwarf and says something very quietly to him, and the dwarf kind of nods, and he says, "If you go to the left, we go to the right, and we pass by. Our left, our right. You don't seem to be carrying anything dangerous with you other than that creature."
Yes, I would agree with you. He is dangerous.
"And we go on our way. I hope you find him a cure for the madness within."
Yes, I believe everybody can be saved.
God. Technical difficulties in the way of you. So they will go ahead and scoot on by you and continue on their way. Yep.
That was
Once they
weird.
passed by, Ratbite would just kind of crawl back up on top of the wagon.
And they continue on. You are only traveling for maybe 20 more minutes when you come to a tower. It is Sintagon. Roll me an investigation, please, as you're looking at this tower.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Also, Lord Conti, who just bought a Season 2 poster. They bought a Dynamo poster.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's this week only. We're selling the Season 2 posters, so thank you very much for taking advantage of that. Let's...
If you guys haven't...
Go on.
Never mind.
No, go on, carry on. Go.
Oh, I was just going to say that if you guys haven't seen the Dynamo, an episode of Dynamo, it's real good.
Mhm. Yes.
That's really
Dynamo
weird
is
as well.
the
This was
best.
definitely the Dynamo music.
I planned that ahead of this, that this was going to be. just to put a contributor in the mood, though. Okay. Sintagon, you're sort of consulting the map and periodically looking out to make sure you've got your bearing correctly, and you see this tower raising up, and you know that Gast had said you're looking for a healer, but you're looking at the structure, you're looking at the windows, you're looking at the grounds. This is a wizard tower. This is not a healer's tower.
Right, so we wanted to find a tower, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Definitely navigated us towards a tower, and here is the tower. We found it. It's a, we found a wizard's tower.
Ratbite gets a very bad vibe from this tower, and he just kind of looks up to it, and I'm assuming the shadow of it is falling fairly nearby.
Many things will meet their doom inside this spire which now looms.
I'm going to make an insight check for Ella and see if she thinks it's spooky or not.
Okay. As you're sort of looking towards Speckles. I wrote that really big because I kept also referring to her as Sprinkles. As you're looking at her, she seems pretty nonplussed. Maybe there's nothing to fear, maybe she's brave, but she doesn't seem to be bothered by the outside of this tower.
I trust Speckles.
As you pull up closer to the tower, you notice along the sides there are some rather overgrown gardens, as though someone hasn't been tending to them very well. I did not draw them because I'm already bad at drawing. But they're not really good crops. They're not like the farmlands that you're used to. Weird plants. Some vines growing up as well around what maybe used to have been a fence at some point? ? All in all, although Speckles is not spooked, this does not look like a super friendly place.
Well, do we enter? Let's put it to a vote.
Ratbite would hop down off the carriage. The swords are sheathed, but he'd start walking towards the entrance of the tower. And he'd kind of like absently paw at one of his ears, just scratching out some of the mange or some of the fleas.
If we do aim to be paid, we should enter and have haste be made.
He speaks truth. Follows behind. What is Sintagon doing?
Sintagon's feeling a little bit guilty about potentially leading them to the wrong tower. That's how he's interpreted the fact that they've ended up at a wizard's tower instead of a healer's tower. So he's just being real quiet and just hoping that no one notices.
Well, make a performance check to see how, or a stealth check, whichever, to see how quiet, unnoticeable, and completely innocent that you are putting this act on to be.
Ooh, okay. Hello?
While this happens, I'm going to hyper quickly run to the washroom and grab some more water.
Hyper quickly.
I did
So-
wrong, sorry.
So anyone
Not good.
who's looking at you you're like, Yes, normal. It's not super convincing that you have confidence in yourself. Sort of another subtitle of my autobiography. Not super convincing that you have full confidence in yourself.
Has anyone noticed just, how normal everything is? Isn't that great?
Well, I don't think it's very normal from the way you're saying it. Is there something wrong?
Nope.
Insight check.
Narrator, there was in fact something wrong.
There was in fact something wrong. Ella can tell that there's something's not exactly correct, but maybe Sintagon is just really intimidated by the size of this tower. Maybe he's excited that it is a wizard tower. Something isn't quite... There's something near about it, but you're not exactly sure, like, what is not quite correct, but you can sort of be like...
It's alright. I think we'll be fine. There's 4 of us.
Have you guys seen these plants? Do you know how rare it is to find this far west of the river? And Puck is literally going through all of the plants and geeking out.
Are you
totally
examining them, picking them?
Examining them, and Puck doesn't care. Picking them, yeah.
Ooh, I have an herbalism kit. Can I roll that with nature?
I have an herbalism kit as well.
Yes. You may roll your herbalism kit checks.
Boom.
With wisdom, right? Yeah, wisdom.
Yeah.
Whilst everyone is picking greens, Ratbite would actually be down on all fours, like sniffing at the floor, trying to get some kind of sense or scent of something that was going on, anything that's going on, any sort of indication of what is in this tower, what occupies it normally.
Okay, make me a perception check.
Lord, I should have taken proficiency in it.
Or investigation. I'll let you do that as well. I don't know if you're proficient in that.
Big fat 0 in both.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, you have a natural 20 in our hearts.
Woohoo.
Okay. So, and what is Sintagon doing besides attempting to be innocent?
Well, I mean, shall we just go in?
Sintagon is all about this wizard tower, healer's tower, maybe, and just sort of like, while Puck and Ella are looking at these plants and taking some clippings,
and probably nerding out together.
Like, oh my gosh, have you ever seen this? Well, I have seen one of those, but I've never seen one of these. Oh, I heard you can make tea out of that. As they're like going through and looking at like different plants. Some of them are plants you have never seen before, ever.
I wonder what this one would taste like.
I'm not thinking about taste. See, I've been this potion that I've been working with. It doesn't have enough kick to it, you know? It's supposed to help with levitating, but it doesn't have the...
Yes, I think that would work nicely.
Some of the plants you're able to get a couple clippings, but as you clip some of them, they, as soon as the blossom, these beautiful blue blossoms get separated from the plant, the part that you've cut off turns to water and runs down your hand.
Ooh.
I bottle the water just in case. See
Okay.
if there's anything interesting about the water.
So you can each get a vial of flower water, and you will be able to get 4 weird plants.
Woo!
Awesome.
Whatever you need to call them in your inventory to remember later. And after as you're geeking out about it, Ratbite, you're... Oh, that's awful familiar. You don't smell anything new, but you smell this metallic body odor scent coming from inside.
Never mind. So as we're heading inside, I'm going to make a perception check for Ella, but I'm going to use the critical coin flip.
Critical coin flip. So that's just gonna be...
Oh yes, that's
Nice.
right.
So as our party, do we want to have individual markers or just a party marker?
So what do I see as we head inside on that nat 20?
It's hard to make that decision going in without knowing what we're going to face, so I will say individual markers.
Okay. All right. Oh my god. I wish I could learn to not draw all the time. That would be great. All right. So
I wish I could stop drawing on you.
go ahead and assign some people some things. Yeah.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things and things and stuff.
What?
Okay, and then we have Puck. I'm really bad at dragging. No.
Kitty!
I'm really bad at dragging people onto the map, so if at all possible, if Puck and Sintagon would like to drag themselves onto the map while I look up a nice muffin.
I can totally do that.
Thank you. I searched for muffins. I searched muffin and it's lizards and old people coming up.
Hey,
Sounds about right.
Guys are people putting their muffins. Like, that's just all there is to it. Am I the rat? I am the rat. Okay.
Yeah.
I dig it. I still don't need the second copy then, eh?
I don't know how to do this, guys. I'm bad at this game. Oh, you made. Oh, yeah. I got you. I can make new people. It's dragging old people, which I feel like everyone can relate to. Dragging old people is difficult.
They're just so heavy sometimes. Like, they don't help you.
They just don't want to go to the nursing home sometimes.
No,
All right, so, I believe I'm gonna go ahead and nudge Sintagon a little closer to the front since you were getting there, and with your nat 20, as you approach the door to this tower, you will notice a few things. Also, we have slept for the two of you that were injured, if you have not yet filled up your health and spell slots. As you get close, Ella, you notice two things. First thing you notice is that the door is slightly ajar. You thought it was a door, but it's ajar. And the other thing that you noticed is there is a very worn sign that almost seems to blend in with the stonework of the tower. It's pretty small, almost like how you would label, like if you're like labeling a plant in like an arboretum. It's just a little placard, and it says Francis Kent, and that's all it says.
I wonder who that is. I'll point it out to everyone else.
Everyone else can see this sign.
Someone's body turned to ash, now to waste space as sorted trash.
That's rude to speak of the dead like that.
They don't care. They're dead.
And it's still rude.
Puck just scribbled Francis Kent on their arm in case the name comes up later. You never know.
Sintagon, you're thinking about this name. Something about it seems familiar. Maybe. Like one of those things that you remember tickling the back of your mind. Like before, when you couldn't quite remember what happened the previous night. You've heard this name before. Can't quite place where. But it seems like it's someone you knew of well or may have met before.
Think. There's something about the name Ken.
Francis Kent? Do you know anybody maybe with the last name of Kent?
You know how we
mean-
couldn't remember what happened the night before when we all met?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a wild...
I've totally got that again. I'm I'm associating them with a tiger. I'm not sure if that's true.
Well, I mean, last time we associated, like, we woke up and we didn't remember anything. There was... Apparently, I recited some very epic works, which, by the way, and I turned to everybody else, was fantastic. I am a good storyteller. But it does seem weird that this deja vu is coming on again. It did seem like there was something unnatural then. I don't know if it'd be an insight or to remember anything, if Puck would know anything about Francis Kent, or if it would just be a Sintagon thing.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a roll. I'll take insight.
Okay.
Ratbite is just idly sniffing everything in the room.
Yeah, I don't insight anything. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You're not sure?
I have no idea.
Might be a human, or sounds human, maybe. I don't know.
Human?
Sounds male.
It's a human male.
So, you said you were sniffing things in the room, then can I assume? Oh gosh. You're going through the door?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought someone had opened the door already, so that's actually my mistake. But yes.
So you... Girl. You go through the door, and if the rest of the party would like to follow, they may. And as you're sniffing about, the closer you get to that wall, that wall.
Yeah, I can't move mine. But...
What? Don't worry, I'll figure it out, possibly. Well, you should be able to. Where do you want to go? I'll move you for you.
Actually, behind Ratbite.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay, so as you're all filtering in, Ratbite, you're sniffing, and you're getting closer, and just your passive perception is enough that as you draw close to that wall, it smells. You've been riding on top of this cart. You've smelled the ovens as they turn on. It smells almost like that. The stone oven where it's like this heated stone smell. As you inch your nose your snoot a little closer to the wall, you can feel slight heat baking off of it.
From the other side? I guess I wouldn't know for sure that it's coming from the other side. It just feels that it's warm. Okay.
Yeah, it could be enchanted to be warm. They could be a weird kind of rock that's just always warm.
There's magic in this tower's bones. Place your hands on heated stones.
Ella will do just that. Ooh, it is warm.
It's pleasant. It's not burning. It's sort of like a slight sauna feeling.
With an Arcana check, can I tell either what kind of magic or what exactly is going on here? Because as soon as Ratbite said magic, Puck's like, what?
Magic.
I don't know about that.
You are looking for signs of any sort of like runes in the stone or any sort of like magical like little MacGuffins laying around to enchant the stone. And you don't see any on this side. You don't see anything in the stone. You're pretty sure this is just mundane stone. There might be something on the other side that is warm.
Now, on the other side of this stone, is it just the outside of the tower, or is it more of the tower? Like,
looking from what you saw from the outside, it's safe to assume that either the tower is a donut or it is the inside of the tower. Like the tower walls were long enough to kind of to wrap around, so it could be a donut or like a C shape. But it where you're thinking of like, okay, I know what this looks like from the outside. This is probably within the wall that I saw, the circular wall that I saw.
I relate this information to the group.
Well, that is intriguing.
If it is indeed an inner core, perhaps we may yet find a door. And then Ratbite would start kind of walking down the corridor.
Oh my gosh, I'm really bad at revealing areas. La! As you continue to walk
And
around.
Ella is constantly staying 2 squares behind Ratbite. 2.
You see with your little eyes a door.
I spy.
I spy with my little eye something that rhymes with door. Just kidding, it's just door.
Floor. Core. Sure.
Yeah, sure, you see the floor.
More!
Perhaps it hides a core. I don't want to say any more.
What a bore.
It was a chore.
What is it for?
The madness! I've got the madness! So you see this door, or all of the rest of y'all following, oh my gosh. Again, the select. I know you said that you were following behind Ratbite.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be a little bit behind her. If Ella wants to
I'm gonna
lead,
stick-
you know.
I'm going to stick close to Sintagon, actually, because I've known Sintagon for the longest.
So, Ratbite, this door, it is not wooden. It is made of stone, similar to the rest of the tower. It seems almost seamless with the wall. It has a very large handle, which is why you could very easily see it. But in terms of like, oh, there's clearly a door jam, and it looks like really set into the wall.
Can I try to open it?
Yes.
Okay.
Are
What do
you
need
like
from me?
trying the handle, or are you trying to like bash through it?
I would try the handle first. I'd give it first like a pull to see if it's going to pull, and if that doesn't immediately do anything, I'd try to like lean into it to see if it pushes in.
You reach out to this handle to give it a little jiggle, and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Do.
Okay. You grab the handle, and it is hot. But it's very hot, and you almost have your hand around it before you feel it's not warm like the stone. It is very hot. And just in time, as you almost close your hand on it, you pull it back, realizing that if you do that, you will lose fur and might end up having like gross skin sloughing off disgustingness.
I'd stare at the door handle angrily and say,
To know what's on the other side, I yearn. Watch the handle. Your flesh, it burns.
Good to know. Anyone volunteer to do something about that? Because I've got nothing.
Well, I mean, I could try cooling it down, or perhaps manipulating it. I could try and just burst the door open. That's always fun.
Do you have mage hand?
oops.
No, I don't have mage hand.
Boo. I don't really say that.
Do we just want to open the door? Is that all we want to do?
I think
Yes.
I believe it's worth a try to see what's on the other side.
Does it look like this is held by a mundane lock?
You can see pretty easily, looking at the handle, you don't see any sort of locking mechanism at all on it.
Oh, in that case then, maybe I don't need to use knock. Maybe I can just use thaumaturgy.
Okay.
Yeah, you instantly cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. There we go, perfect.
Ah!
Just hold up my hand and there's like a boom and a thunder crack. Because tiefling. And the door opens. There you go.
So the door flies out towards you.
Oh my! Impressive.
And everybody make me a dexterity saving throw.
I was thinking that was going to come. I was not.
I
That's
really
okay.
was not.
Oh, honey.
Oh no. Oh no. It's okay. It's all fine.
Okay, so we are good with this.
We're good.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The things that your DM can say that make you nervous.
How did I get the best roll with a 12?
So all of those are fails. You're each going
Ouch.
to take 12 points of damage as you fling open the door to reveal a room full of very poorly drawn lava. And this lava comes rushing out at you and spilling into the hallway. It doesn't look like the room is completely full, but it is overflowing what the capacity of that room would be.
Would that be fire damage?
Yes.
Yay!
So you take 6 instead of 12.
Yep.
I was about to say I thought that I could cast shield, but it's not necessarily attack, so it doesn't matter, and it wasn't AC, so I take all 12 of that damage.
Yay! As it sort of spills into this hallway, it sort of like seeps, and you see it already starting to kind of cool as you're watching it. It's not like continuously pouring and pouring. It seemed like there was a certain level, and when you opened that door, it went down to sort of be floor level. But Ratbite, peering around the where the opening of the door is, you can see the floor is lava. It's like there's still lava all over this room.
Ratbite would be kind of whimpering a little bit from the burns that he got. I'm assuming it splashed and kind of scorched some of his fur, so there's like a oily black smoke trailing from him in places. And looking through the chamber, he'd scoff and be,
Who is so immune to danger that they keep a lava chamber?
asking the important questions there.
I'll admit this bath is a little hot even for my taste.
And taking that damage, Ella will just jump back and cure wounds herself.
It's like when a paladin
For
checks
6.
himself, lays on hands.
6 damage.
You heal 6 damage.
Yeah.
So your flowers start to like singe a little bit, and you very hurriedly put it out, and you start feeling a little better as they perk up a little bit.
Yes. So you said you could cool things down? Maybe.
Oh, me? Well, yes, rapidly. Like, you probably don't want me to cool people, but I can cool things.
Lava, yes.
I
Seems
will
like the smart thing to do.
conjure, how many does this conjure? I don't know, it just says I hurl a 4-inch diameter sphere. I will conjure a 4-inch diameter cold sphere as I cast Chromatic Orb.
Okay. So you conjure it, and do you want to conjure it like in the middle of the lava? Do you want to like where exactly do you want to put it?
I'd like push it away from me so it like goes straight along the lava, hopefully creating a path in a straight line.
So kind of like that.
I can only see some of that, but yes.
Okay. Has my fogged? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah. So you are able to do that, and as you cast this chromatic orb, and it sort of like scooter cools everything, like it's, and the lava around it instantly turns to like a path of hard. Oh, you want to shoot it into the room?
Oh, yeah. So we can go investigate.
yeah.
This is already cooling out here, right? I mean, they can just buckle up and get on with that.
Just man up.
I want
just a bit of lava.
Yeah, I want to cool the room. You know.
Okay. Yeah. So you go ahead and there we go, and shoot, and through the room there's a path that is this hardened rock surface, igneous rock, like I learned in elementary school. And as I'm assuming you stepped forward a little bit to cast it, there's also a bit of a path into the room.
I suppose.
If you have to.
Hooves are better at walking on lava though than feet, definitely. So I'm not cooling it too much.
It feels kind of good to use Sintagon with your little tiefling feet. It sort of reminds you of your humble beginnings. Yeah. It's like a nice like cooling walk through flaming rocks. You know, the rest of you.
It's just.
Yeah, it's one of those things like where if you remember the beginning of Aladdin where they're chasing him through and they run over the like hot coals and they're all like, so it's definitely like very hot, not enough to cause damage, but like definitely where you're like, but yeah,
step with care and watch your feet, else will be naught but roasted meat.
So stepping,
I'm sure you'd enjoy that.
Stepping into the room, how would you like to look around? What are you looking for? Are you looking to see, like, is this magical lava? Are you looking to see what sort of rocks are being formed with regards to, like, Would this be a sulfuric kind of lava? Would this be more of like a magma kind of lava? I don't really know my lava types. Are you looking to see how this lava is made, contained, how far it goes down? What are you exactly looking for in here?
Why is there lava? That's what Sintagon would be looking for.
Arcana or investigation?
I think they're both the same.
Okay.
It's always why is there lava, never how is the lava.
I know.
Yes. I'm looking into the how, definitely. What kind of fun would that be?
Do you know what? I've got a +7 on this. Yeah, no, I'm not going to use a critical thing on this. I've got a +7.
I'm going... Yes. I want to look into the how.
The how of the lava, you can roll me an investigation or a perception.
Could I roll a nature check?
Rolling a nature check will tell you natural lava, conjured lava,
So
made
perception,
lava.
yeah. Okay. Perception. 21.
Okay. So we will start with the Arcana roll. Sintagon, you walk into this room, and you're looking around, and this lava, which there was no volcanoes on the map, so definitely wasn't like transported. Sort of feeling the vibes of, is this magical? And as you're sort of looking around for signs of something magical in here, you see as the lava kind of sloshes and sort of licks up at this path that you've made, you're peering in, and you see some runes etched into the side of the wall inside of this room. And you stare at them a little harder, and for the briefest of moments, you think you see a face. And maybe it was just a trick of the waves and the folds of the lava. But maybe not. Maybe this thing is a thing and not just stuff. Percepting around. Sorry, go ahead.
Sintagon will register the face, but they're a very logical creature, and they dismiss that as poppycock. But they will trace the runes on a blank page in their spellbook.
Okay. As you're tracing these runes in your spellbook, once you see them, like, you're catching glimpses and writing them in sequence, and then you get a chance to look at them, and they seem to be a shielding rune, a shielding kind of barrier type spell that's been put around the room. And the closest thing you've ever heard of that has a similar sort of incantation to it, and I'm not sure if you know the spell or not, but you've definitely heard of it, is one called Leomund's Tiny Hut. Perceiving around.
Have I just figured out how to cast Leomund's Tiny Hut from looking at a wall?
Maybe. Something like, but not necessarily Leomund's Tiny Hut.
I love that face.
As you're perceiving, remind me again, why is the lava? Or?
For the how of the lava, like how, like where is it coming from? How is it here?
How are you doing today?
I was gonna say my joke was how is the lava doing, but that's fine.
How is it here?
That lava is feeling fierce. You are looking at the well-being of the lava, and its well-being. It doesn't look like it's actively being conjured. Like I said, it's not flowing up as you look at it and you're perceiving it, you can see that as it's kind of waving and sloshing around, you will see, like Sintagon has seen, that it is rather contained. But while Sintagon is studying the runes that might be containing it here, you are seeing that it seems to be almost actively pushing at this path that has been carved into it with cold.
Sentient lava.
You're looking down, and it looks like this room is deeper than it lets on. So it's probably not the floor was turned into lava, but lava filled what is below this room or the bottom of this room.
I do believe the lava is actually smart. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, seeing the bridge being kind of a load. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
I was just about to say this. Puck's eyes are gonna go really, really wide, and they're gonna go Sintagon. This reminds me of the blacksmiths.
Sintagon is not at his desk at the moment. He is hastily scrabbling in his spell book and trying to figure out how to cast Leomund's tiny hut.
Seeing that and the lava kind of eroding away at the bridge, Ratbite would start to get a little bit anxious, and you just kind of put out a high-pitched whine and say,
Tarry not with scribbles and pages, we must leave while lava rages.
What he said! Hurry! Hurry, you fool!
At this being pointed out, the rest of you can see that further into the room, beyond Sintagon, where this bridge has been made, the rock is starting to slowly almost get chipped away by this lava and get remelted as the path starts to slowly inch backwards and narrower.
how large is Sintagon?
Large enough to be in charge.
Woohoo!
Sintagon stands 6'1". His hooves have a slight wedge to them, sort of like a 1800s heel.
Okay. Ratbite is slightly taller and much bulkier. And having run out of patience and just feeling increasingly anxious, Ratbite is going to go and attempt to just pick up Sintagon and start walking the other way, across the bridge.
Oh, I need to research this. I can't. This is important.
Research at a later date. If you tarry, you will meet your fate.
Ah!
All right, so I'm gonna need you,
And once we get to a
Ratbite.
safe spot, Elle will cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Ratbite, roll me a grapple. Sintagon, you can roll athletics or acrobatics to escape it.
Oh, sorry, that was a save. Where do I actually just... Oh, just by clicking on the stat, that's right.
Mhm.
Even worse.
I think I'm going to choose to fail, because it'd be ridiculous if this wizard wins this contest. There's nothing to him. If Ratbite wants to move him, Ratbite will move him. He'll just plead with you not to. No, I really need to learn. Look, I must not have quite traced the runes right.
You can learn from the safety of the other side.
Yeah, you'd
Ella?
be getting like a sack of potatoes carry. Like, you could like see the runes from over Ratbite's shoulders you've been tossed over. So like maybe a few seconds to scribble. I don't know, but you're getting out of there.
Sintagon, make me either a flat dex roll or an arcana roll to see if you can accurately gain a spell out of this. I'll give you this option.
Ooh.
Nice.
Do you think maybe you have the gist of it? You might have to look at it for a little bit. Maybe have to...
I personally would have used the critical coin flip.
The critical coin flip makes me so nervous. When you've got a +7, I think it'd be wrong not to use it.
Here.
But yeah, so I think he's probably. Shall we say that he's got all of the bits he needs from the runes in his book, but he doesn't necessarily know that yet. He just needs some time to research it.
Yeah, you've got. But as you were like looking and just sort of jotting runes as they came out, maybe they're not quite in the right order. But you have all the type of runes you need. And Ella, where were you wanting to cast your detect magic from? Were you wanting to go
from the safety of the other side?
Okay, so you trot across this little ice bridge and are able to make a little hop over the rest of the lava to the other side. And you cast detect. Oh, inside the other, so like.
Yeah.
In here? Oh, goodness gracious!
Once we're safe, and
safe
all the way across.
So the bridge.
Well, safe is a relative term when you're in the wizard tower.
The bridge is deteriorating as you are. Just running through the lava. As you get to the other side, you do see that there is an end wall here that does connect, but I can't draw. So it does connect there. It seems to be like a half circle type room. And there's this. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Does it look like it's above the lava line?
The wall?
The half circle room that we're seeing, the connecting wall.
Yes, it goes all the way up to the ceiling. As you're looking up the ceiling, it's probably like, it seems, based off the outside, it seems kind of like a short floor. It's only like 8 feet to the ceiling, which, if you're thinking about how tall that that cleric tower seemed from the outside, you would expect the rooms to be a kind of bigger, kind of taller, or maybe it just has like a ton of floors you gotta work up. As you, Ella, as you're walking to the end and you're seeing the bridge deteriorate, it's going to be a calculated risk where exactly you want to stand to cast this 10-minute ritual, so that you will be for the duration. So ping me the hex you would like to stand on as you're casting this.
Well, can we get out of the room, or?
It seems like it's starting to deteriorate the bridge from the far end. So like from this end, it is starting to eat away at the bridge.
Oh, geez. Is there? Can we get off of it?
Is there a way out at all?
You can go back to the door that you came from.
But that's it.
And you can go into the lava if you want a quick dip. But there doesn't seem to be another way out of this room that you can see. Unless...
Seeing that Ella will just run away and go over here.
Okay.
And then from this square right here, cast detect magic.
Okay. So you start casting. Let me read that so I remember exactly. It's the School of Magic, isn't it? Okay. So, so you can't see through the walls. It looks like they're over a foot thick, or possibly there's metal inside of them to keep it structurally sound. But you can definitely ping this lava that's in front of you. And as you're detecting magic and you're casting and you're examining, you sense transmutation and illusion magic. And from the brief bit of wall that you can see through the door there, you can also sense evocation inside the room.
Sensing illusion, I was gonna raise an eyebrow to illusion. Be like, I don't think this is an illusion. Where's the illusion?
The illusion magic that you can sense is coming from all around you. It's not just the lava.
Weird. So what's everybody else up to?
If Ella left, then Ratbite would have hauled Sintagon along and also gotten out of the room, mostly just to get out of harm's way.
Yes, because that's a dead end.
I'm gonna nudge you actually out of harm's way, not in the lava.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Yes.
Merciful DM.
Yes.
And Sintagon along with you. And Puck, are you sticking in the room until the lava or the rock bridge deteriorates, or are you joining everybody else?
Puck is going to very, very quickly dig through their bag, put on what looks like ironworker or even like blacksmith gloves, and is going to try to get a sample of this lava before the bridge deteriorates, because they're not sure. This looks a lot like the different elemental genasi that we've seen before. It seems odd that we've seen mud, we've seen sand. If this has something to do with that, lava is kind of in that circle. So they just want a sample.
Okay. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Let's see if I've got slide.
Or flip a YOLO
totally.
coin.
Ooh, I might flip the YOLO coin.
Here.
I'm doing it. Wait, it's /R or R /R? Yeah.
/R space 1d2.
I knew that.
Nice.
Ooh.
So, you put on these thick gloves, and you're watching how it goes. You're watching how it laps. You have a vial in your hand, and you look at it. It's pretty thick glass. You think it'll work. And just as it smacks against the bridge a little bit, and a little a little dollop comes up, you're able to catch it and stopper it. As you look and you hold the vial in front of you, the lava continues to move inside, even though you're holding it still. But it does not seem to be able to melt or penetrate the glass of the vial.
Stick it back in the bag of holding, and Puck's gonna yeet out of there.
It's either yeet or be yeeted.
Exactly.
Yeet or be Jotun for those of us who are civilized. So you are all able to escape this room full of lava. And as you get to the other side, you can see the continued turn of this tower. You seem to be in a circular corridor.
And after regrouping, Ella's going to tell them the results of her detect magic check. And be like, I think this tower is enchanted somehow. And it's not exactly what it appears to be.
Oh, you think? What gave that impression? The tower with the room full of magic lava?
Yes, I do believe the lava was magic as well.
From Ratbite's back. Actually, it's really rather interesting. It seems that this is some sort of spell for casting a globe of force that will protect and look after things.
Protect or keep things inside?
Depends. I think you can manipulate it so that things inside can come outside, but things outside can't come in.
That's not good. Also, I got a sample of the lava.
Ooh, good job there. Very good job.
I've not seen magma so contained. For what purpose would it be held? Ah, shoot, I lost it.
Oh, so close.
Ah!
No, this was the first time you
I know. I had one ready to go too. What was the rhyme?
Obtained?
I have not seen magma so restrained. What purpose would there be for it to be contained?
Okay, there we go. Woo! Ratbite, how much do you know about what you're hunting?
I'll admit I know very little. I bring the swords and ample spittle.
So what we saw at the blacksmith, it seemed like two genasi who were slowly either losing their form or possessed with something or had some kind of sickness. It seemed like there was one that was violently attacking whatever, and that was sand, and there was a mud one.
Oh, the lava was alive?
Could you imagine
Literally.
if there was a lava genasi that sprung up and tried to attack us? Wouldn't that be horrifying?
Oh! Yes, I believe that's what the lava is.
Glancing nervously at the still open door to the lava room.
If superstitious, perhaps you should find a piece and knock on wood.
Do you mean close
Got
the
the
door?
key.
Because I can definitely close the door.
Close it.
If it can be done from afar, it would not be best if left ajar.
I'd cast Thaumaturgy and the door slams shut with force.
As you slam it shut, some of the lava splatters up against the wall. That's still cooling on the floor, and some of the rocks sort of pelt against it, and it seems to slam exactly back into place where it seems a bit too connected to the wall around it. And
We don't hear a scream.
you do not hear a scream.
Well, let's not go in that room. That room's silly. Let's go somewhere else.
Of this
Yes,
place
of
I
course.
find I tire. Let us find a target for my ire. And then Ratbait would keep going down the hallway. Not
Yes,
bothering to
let
put
us-
Sintagon down.
Let us find a more hospitable environment.
I'm imagining Sintagon just chilling in this fireman's hole, just okay.
He's continuing to look at the book and look around the room and or the tower and everything.
Frantically still studying those fresh notes.
Brilliant!
So as you
Crushed diamonds. I never would have thought it.
as you round the corner, you see a very similar door. The handle is slightly different, but it also seems a bit too melded to the wall.
Now, if we've learned anything from the previous door, it's we need to be around the corner when you open it.
Yep, stand back, everyone! Thaumaturgy.
Standing back.
Okay.
Ratbite would dump Sintagon down on the floor at this and stand very far back.
So as you thaumaturgy this door open, you see water.
Yep.
And as it comes open, it flows a little bit into the hallway, similar to how it did. You get a little bit wet if you're standing right in its path, but that's about all that happens. Just a little bit of splashy action.
Contained magma and bottled sea. The purpose of this is all beyond me.
Well, I was listening earlier, and they appear to be Genasi turn into their elements.
I've got
So-
a cunning plan.
I support this.
I'm not sure because you haven't voiced your plan, but please.
Well, one side has lava, the other side has water, right? If we assume these two rooms adjoin, we're in a circle, so... If I was to
Ooh.
bust the wall, maybe they'd mix, and it'd become a normal genasi.
I love this idea.
Could it be as simple as it seems, or will you create deadly steam?
Deadly steam is almost definitely going to happen.
Oh,
I was about to say that. But if we stand far enough back, this is definitely a great idea.
All right, wizard, do your trick. I'll be prepared to run right quick.
Actually, Ratbite, I don't have any spells which destroy stone like that. But now you do! And I'm going to touch Ratbite, and if they're willing to accept, they'll be enlarged!
I'll take it.
Okay. So, if I recall correctly, they are able to fill the space.
Ooh. Okay.
So,
Okay.
Ratbite, you notice that you only gain about 1.5 feet until your head is about reaching the ceiling. You can sort of like hunch over a little bit, but you get swole. Like the amount that you feel like you can't quite expand up, you expand out in bulging muscle. You are so incredibly large. You have never been this large before, probably.
Ratbite's voice is now deeper because of this side effect as a result of cartoon animation.
I have never felt so in charge as I do now that I am large.
Yes.
Well, off you go then, smashy smashy. Have fun.
So in my new super size, how am I able to tell how deep the water pond is? Or I guess I shouldn't call it a pond, that's presumptuous. But...
As you get into the water, you ease yourself off of the path kind of and like sort of step into it. Your foot keeps going down. This is going to be something you have to swim.
Something I have to swim. Okay.
Which will be
then
an
rather
athletic.
than
It is not choppy. It will not be probably that hard.
Okay, I'm just worried about how quickly I'm going to get myself killed here. I will try to swim across it, but before I do, I will take one of my swords out of their sheaths, and only one, because the two swords that I have are very different in appearance. The first one is sort of edged and cruel looking and with a barbed guard and handle. The other one actually looks like it's been forged from the fragments of 1,000 other swords with a sort of metal in between. And that one is actually Shatterspike. So I'm going to put Shatterspike in my teeth and attempt to swim across it with the intention of using Shatterspike's destructive properties to try to blow up that wall.
Now, DM question: is this going to be? Are there going to be strength checks in the near future?
Depends on what you guys do. But
because I think breaking a wall would definitely be a strength check. In which case, I would do something to give him advantage on strength checks.
So as you're watching Ratbite prepare to venture across this water, you can assume acrobatics for swimming is going to be important. Potentially, he'll either need to make strike attacks or strength attacks to break down this wall, as you don't know the guy real well, but he doesn't really seem like magically inclined. He probably doesn't know Shatter or, anything like that. So
Enlarge grants advantage on strength checks. So if you wanted to
Excellent,
give him
excellent.
Dex instead, or if you can, I'm not sure what spell you're thinking of, but if you can give him Dex or something for swimming, that'd be awesome.
No, I wish I had that check. I wish I had that spell. I didn't take that spell.
DM, as a man dog, may I use athletics for swimming rather than acrobatics?
yes.
You have
in that-
advantage.
Yeah, so then I will then try to swim across with Shatterspike in my teeth.
Okay.
That's a 25 and a 10, so I guess it's a 25.
Okay, so you push it over for your teeth, and as you're swimming across, the rest of you can see, like, you expected this is a large homie. You expected there to be splashing, like, dog paddle style, but surprisingly, as Ratbite kind of, like, eases in, it's way more fluid, like, almost like shark-like, as he just beelines for this this wall with his head above the water and the sword sticking in his teeth. You're able to get there with no difficulty, and nobody even gets splashed in the process.
Making it across, I'd like to get up right to the wall and kind of tread it with one hand up against the wall to kind of keep myself in place. And then I would take Shatterspike out of my mouth, and I'd kind of try to lean as far in front of me as possible and swing Shatterspike up against the wall with as much distance between myself and the point of impact as possible.
Okay. Go ahead, and Shatterspike has an ability, question mark?
Yes. Shatterspike has an ability, so I have a +1 to attack and damage rolls I make with it, and if it hits an object, the hit is automatically a critical, and it can deal bludgeoning or slashing damage to the object. So I don't know if a wall counts as an object, but that was his plan.
Okay. So you go ahead and you measure out this distance, and you pull back your blade, and you whip it at this wall.
And whip it good.
You whip it at this wall, and everyone else hears this percussive landing. And I assume you want bludgeoning and not slashing damage.
Preferably, let's keep Shatterspike in one piece.
Okay. So you hear a crack, and then everybody hears a boom. Everyone make me a dexterity saving throw. I am going to have Ratbite make it with disadvantage. Sorry, right there.
9.
Let's see.
Damn it, that was the time to use the critical dice, and I forgot.
Ooh, that would have been.
I will let you use it on a reroll.
I don't have a reroll.
Oh. Do I have a
Says
reroll?
he did. Oh wait, Puck does.
No, Puck's the only person with a reroll.
All right. So.
Wait. No, I guess can I gift my reroll to somebody?
Any
You
dice
can.
that hits the table, you can call for it to be rerolled.
Ooh. I'm not sure if I want to see, because Sintagon, I like Scrap, but also Ratbite is rolling at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Rat, I love you. I'm thinking that Jesse's probably going to have the worst roll here.
You also have a critical dice if you want to trade your disadvantage for
Let's do it.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Yo, low roll.
I think I was doomed either way with the disadvantage, so here it goes. Oh!
Boom!
Woo!
okay.
Thank you for the
Scott,
reroll.
you got the reroll.
Sorry?
If Jesse got the critical, you get the
Yeah.
reroll, I believe.
They got they use the reroll to do the critical thing, right?
Oh no,
Yeah.
never mind. You got.
Okay. So, Ratbite, you hear this crack and this boom, and you are able to see in a split second. You've used this blade before. You know what it's about. You know what's going to happen. You're looking, you're thinking, oh my god, lava and water are going to combine literally inside of me. And so as the rock wall begins to crumble from the top down, you clamber on top of these falling stones, desperately trying to stay out of what will be this melding of elements underneath you. For Sintagon and Puck, you are blown back by this percussive force, and you slam against the wall. It doesn't do any damage, but you are a bit disoriented as you stand up. For the next 5 turns, you're going to be slowed, which may or may not be something that matters, as you have a bit of a concussion probably going on. Ella is able to. You've been among nature. You've seen the natures collide. You know what's going to happen. You you skirt, and you're able to avoid this outburst from the door and from the walls shaking as Ratbite is in there causing an utter madness of chaos. As these elements combine and meld and combine, there's steam that is pouring up into the air. It's
and
not,
Ella's just clapping and laughing.
it's not pleasant to inhale. It's very hot, but it's not injuriously hot. Well, underneath you, what's left, the floor actually seems to go down about a foot, and this giant Ratbite ends up standing on a pile of rubble on top of solid rock with steam swirling around him. And from the steam, you hear a voice that says, "Hello?" And we're going to call it there. We're going to call it there. We are almost out of time. We got 4 minutes left.
What?
Oh, shit.
What?
Cliffhanger.
What is this? What are these shenanigans?
I mean, if we keep going, we can. It's your channel, Scrap, but...
No, the cliffhanger's good. The cliffhanger's good. We can pick that up next week, you crazy DM, you wonderful person.
I have to see the end of this. I have to.
Well, yeah. Tune in next week, folks, to find out what happens and who this voice is. Awesome. How are we all feeling?
I want to be back next week. I don't want the cliffhanger.
Well,
at the same time, I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really late.
It is really late, and I'm hot as all holy hell. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to I think I've been working on a plan in my mind in the background. I think I'm gonna buy a door. I'm gonna get an aircon unit. I'm gonna put the aircon unit through the door because I can't open this window, which is part of the problem. Anyway, that's my brain. Let's go round. Let's talk about who we are, where we can find each other, what our favourite part was, and all of those other wonderful things. Why don't we go the opposite way around and start with Jesse Neon? Oh, hi, Jesse.
Hello. I can be found on Twitter at Jesse Neon. I also have a Twitch channel, which is Pungeons and Dragons. I DM a couple of times a week, or at least I used to. I kind of took a few weeks off, just slowly getting back into it. Ravnica campaigns on Tuesdays, homebrew campaigns Saturdays, and Retroverse campaigns on Sundays. Besides that is literally it. I can't be found anywhere else. Pretty much only exist on Twitter.
What an amazing character you brought for us today. What was your favorite part?
Thank you. Ratbite is a lot of fun, and I enjoy the relationship building with the horse. I'm excited to see where that's going.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, it does segue nicely into you, Tater. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. You can just find me on Twitter and Twitch. Potato Hollow on Twitch. Potato Hollow on Twitter. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ratbite really made me like with the horse thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, why? But other than that, it was great.
I will take that as a compliment.
Yes, great character. Out of character, I loved it, but Ella did not.
Awesome, fantastic.
My favorite part was definitely when we got to the wizard tower and it was a wizard tower, and I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, totally
But Ella doesn't know it's a wizard tower apparently.
Yeah, totally a healer's wizard's tower. Next around we have Abby, Abigator Frenzy. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. My name is Abby. That was a very, very good, very, very good game. I think my favorite part was definitely One, Jesse, how do you come up with those rhymes so fucking consistently?
Oh yes, yes, I want to know as well.
It's actually the reason why Ratbite does so much like idle stuff in the background, so I can just think about like words that rhyme, pretty much.
That's smart. So that was interesting, and I also really enjoyed Ratbite and Ella's interactions at the beginning because it was just two totally different personalities, and Ratbite was just like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll go with this happy baker person," and Ella's just like, "Here's my horse, and I've got all of these baked goods and songs. Do you want a muffin?"
Yes. There were definitely songs going on, but I probably did not like them.
Yeah, it's all good.
Well,
Anyway.
thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. You can find me at Abigail Your Frenzy on Twitter. You can find me Monday and Tuesday on the Greyhawk channel around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me on Saturdays at On the Forefronts channel. There is a hack of Blades in the Dark that he made of Animorphs. And it's super cool. So check out on Saturdays. You can just follow me on Twitter and there'll be updates about that and child wrangling things and just stuff. But yeah.
Yes.
And
you've got me very interested in the animals thing. This is the second time today I've heard about it.
now, between us, can we think of a raid cry to take along with us today? Can we all just think of that in the background whilst we talk to our wonderful DM, Sage Affiliate, Holly? Oh, hi!
Oh, hi. I'm Holly Sigophilia. You can find me here every Tuesday and Thursday nights. Tuesday, I'm playing with Alice's lovely Call of Cthulhu game, and at 7. I don't remember if I said that because it's 1:30. And I'm here on Thursdays. I am also on Twitter, and sometimes I forget I'm on Twitter, but when I do remember, I like to spread a lot of love and a lot of nerdy tabletop stuff. You can find my cat here all the time, constantly, forever. My favorite part, first off, I think the raid call has to be something. The raid card has to be something rhyming, whatever it is. It must be. I loved that rhyming. That was really good timing. And everybody had so many good moments. I loved Ella's like moments with the horse, and just sort of like having that nice little those tender moments, but at the same time being like very fiercely protective. When you guys were investigating this room and looking around at the lava bridge was a fantastic idea. I was geeked out about that. I was like, it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know how they're gonna figure it out, but let's see if they can. And you guys did really well with that. And I think Puck is definitely like that shift in personalities was so good between like big scary Puck and Puck. I think that like establishing two very divergent personalities in one character while still making them the same character is really tough, and I think you're pulling it off really great.
Thank you. I just love how Puck's just like, what do you mean I look different? What?
So passing it back on to our final player, the man, the myth, the legend.
I think I've got a raid cry.
I don't think I'd go that far as to say legend and myth and things. And blimey, you guys. But
That's not for me to say.
Yes.
But let's see, Sintagon, he's having a time. My favorite part, it's got to be Ratbite, start to finish. What an amazing character with the rhymes that you come up with just on the fly and everything. That was incredible. We were all great. I love the dynamic as the group, but I think Ratbite's is something special. You've got something special there, Jesse, and I loved it.
Oh yes, very much.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me onto your channel.
Oh, so well.
I want to see Ratbite again sometime.
I'm
probably not eating my horse.
I think I might change the raid cry. I'm thinking of something like have a cheeky raid for a game well played or something like that.
Well, it definitely rhymes. So there you go.
Definitely rhymes, yeah. And we are a cheeky raid group indeed.
I'm bad at rhymes, so don't ask me. It sounds good. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it rhymes.
There we go.
Chat says Ratbite was great, but IRL I'd ditch him in the woods.
But IRL, he'd follow you home from the woods.
So I'm gonna.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna get my bot to spam you all with links. Please do go check them out. You can support us in all these wonderful places. Big thank you to Mage Hand Press and Bird in the Storm Publishing who make this all possible. That is it for the week now. Tomorrow we'll play a rerun of Doors of Genera, probably around 6 or 7 p.m. Depends when I wake up, because Friday is my admin day, and I also try and catch up on sleep. And now I have sleeping tablets, so hopefully I'll get some decent stuff. The good stuff. So thank you very much everyone for an awesome game. Thank you for an awesome week. We're going to go and head over to Critical Role and say hi to them.
Oh.
It's going to be awesome.
It's Thursday. Shit.
I'm still reeling from them raiding us a couple of weeks ago. So I can
Thank you to the DM for putting on such a wonderful game. That was fantastic.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Yes.
It truly was.
This has been super fun, and also like having different people every time. It's been so good to play for you guys. To give you a world. Watch your little babies grow up.
Well, everyone, that's all for us tonight. Keep on evoking emotions, and until Monday, keep on evoking emotions. We will catch you later on. See you on Twitter, everyone. Bye!
Farewell.